Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy Keaton, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Link is in the box below. Lots of good games and a lot on the line for this upcoming weekend. So let's not waste any more time here. These are my wildcard predictions. Last week went 11-5, which is pretty good there. Season 168 and 102, which is pretty solid. So let's just finish off strong here as we begin the postseason. NFL playoff picture entering wildcard weekend. We'll start the AFC side. Division leaders: Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Texans. Wildcard teams: Browns, Dolphins, Steelers. NFC side: division leaders: 49ers, Cowboys, Lions, Bucks. Wildcard teams: Eagles, Rams, Packers. First game of wildcard weekend, really good matchup here. We have the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. Browns favored by 2.5. Browns coming off a road loss at the Bengals 31-14. Obviously, the Browns didn't play most of their starters in that game as they're resting up for the playoffs. They ran up against a Bengals team that obviously had nothing to play for. Season's pretty much over on their side, and they got a big time home win to end their season at 9-8. So, but that doesn't take away from what the Browns did this season. I mean, they finished off 11-6, which is really solid. No one expected the Browns to be where they are, making the playoffs, but here we are. They're at the 5 seed, and this is going to be a dangerous team. So, teams have to look out for the Cleveland Browns as we begin the playoffs here. The Houston Texans, they're coming off a big time road win at the Colts, 23-19. I mean, that was a really, really good game to watch. I mean, the Texans, the way they played, especially on the defense, just played so locked in throughout that whole game and just really shutting down Gardner Minshew in that Colts offense. You really have to give the Texans credit there. I mean, they did what they needed to do to win the game, and they obviously got the help they needed by winning that game and then having the Titans beat the Jags the way they did, and that's why the Texans are sitting here as AFC South champions uh, under a rookie quarterback in C.A. Stroud. Like I said, he played pretty locked in throughout that game there. So this is an exciting Texans team, and I'm excited to see what they do this weekend up against a good Browns defense. But overall in this game, you look at these two quarterbacks, Joe Flacco versus C.J. Stroud. I mean, there's obviously a big age gap between the two quarterbacks. Joe Flacco has experience. He knows what it takes to win the playoffs. C.J. Stroud, this is his first go around. He obviously has had a pretty solid rookie season. But this is going to be a good test for him in this Houston Texans team going up against this Browns team. The best defense in football. I'm excited to see what C.J. Stroud, how he dissects this defense. What's his patience like? What's he going to be like under pressure? The Browns are going to put pressure on him, so I'm curious to see how he handles that in a playoff situation. But overall in this game, I like the Browns 23-20. I just think the Browns have a little bit more experience. Like I said, Joe Flacco knows what it takes to win. And I think Kevin Stefanski will come up with a game plan to really limit C.J. Stroud and what he wants to do offensively there. So give me the Browns here, 23-20 in Houston. Next game, we have the Miami Dolphins at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 4 points. Dolphins coming off of a disappointing home loss to the Buffalo Bills, 21-14. I mean, look at this Dolphins team. They pretty much had the AFC East in their hands most of the season, and then they just gave it away to their arch rival. Now that's 4 years in a row that the Buffalo Bills have won the East. You look at the Dolphins. That has to be somewhat deflating. I mean, like I said last week, what is the mindset going to be for the Dolphins going forward after losing the division the way they did? Like I said, you had the division pretty much held on to for most of the season up until last week, and they just gave it away. So what's the mindset going to be for the Dolphins going in or going on the road at the Chiefs? Can the Dolphins get a good win in Kansas City? That's going to be the question going into this weekend. So that has yet to be seen. So we'll see what happens going into this weekend. Not much to say. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're coming off of a road win at the Chargers 13-12. Not going to get much into this game. Obviously, the Chiefs were resting most of their starters. The defense obviously was the only spark in that game, holding the Chargers and Easton Stick to 12 points and stuff like that. So you really have to give the Chiefs credit there. They scored more than the Chargers did. And not much to say about that. They do what they need to do to win. Like I said, as they're sitting here at the number 3 seed, having a home playoff game. But overall in this game, give me the edge to the Kansas City Chiefs, 20-17. Like I said, you have a warm weather team traveling to a cold weather environment. It's going to be 5-6 degrees at kickoff, probably colder with the wind and the snow and all that stuff. I think this game is played into the Kansas City Chiefs' favor. I know the Chiefs haven't had the season that they wanted, especially on offense with the receivers dropping balls everywhere. They had the most drops in football. But like I said, the weather is going to be a factor in this game. I don't expect Dolphins offense to do anything much in this game. In cold weather, Tyreek Hill is their best player, so we'll see how much he's a factor, and we'll see what the Chiefs defense can do to limit Tyreek Hill. And I think the defense obviously can limit the Dolphins offense to 17 points here, and it's definitely possible they can do that, especially in Kansas City. So give me the Chiefs here, 2017 in KC. Next game, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills. Bills fair by 10 points. Steelers coming off a road win at the Ravens 17-10. Obviously, the Steelers had to win that game to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they did just that, getting the big time road win and then getting the help with the Titans beating the Jags. So that obviously put the Steelers at the 7th seed. So you really have to give the Steelers credit, obviously. I didn't expect this team. I don't think anyone expected this team to be in the playoffs this year. Mike Tomlin continues to prove that I was wrong, continues to win games. You look at the Steelers team, they really have no business being in the playoffs, but they continue to find ways. Mike Tomlin continues to find ways to just get it done when it matters. And like I said, he's allergic to losing. He's never had a losing season yet. For the Steelers to be in this position, they really have, their fans have to be excited, obviously. So, Mason Rudolph has been playing well the last 3 weeks. Pittsburgh's offense has been spot on with him being at quarterback. So I'm curious to see what the game plan is for Pittsburgh going in to a hostile environment in Buffalo. So excited to see what they can do there. The Buffalo Bills, they're coming off a big time win at the Miami Dolphins, 21-14. Obviously, you look at this Bills team, they were 6-6 at one point, and they pretty much won out the rest of their games. This is the hottest team right now in football. Obviously, this team has been behind the Dolphins for most of the season, and for them to just climb their way back up on top of the AFC East, it's just amazing. It's a good story for the Buffalo Bills, obviously. And like I said, now they have a home playoff game for 2 rounds, possibly if they somehow get the dub and get it done when it matters. Josh Allen obviously needs to be better. I know he had 3 turnovers last week at the Dolphins. He needs to just learn how to just make the simple play. If nothing's there, throw the ball away. Don't try to force it and be the hero. This is a good Steelers defense you're going up against, and Josh Allen cannot afford to turn the ball over against this defense, even without TJ Watt being there for the Steelers, which is obviously a big blow to the defense. But, this is still good defense at the end of the day for the Steelers. So Josh Allen needs to just take care of the football, and the Bills will win this game. And I think the Buffalo Bills will do that. So give me the Buffalo Bills 23-17. Like I said, this game's in Buffalo. I think, Steelers, it's a good story for the Pittsburgh Steelers making the playoffs. But I think that magic comes to an end at Buffalo. Like I said, they're at home. I think Josh Allen will have a pretty good game there. Defense will be able to hold the Steelers to 17 points after holding the Dolphins to 14. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did the same thing to the Steelers. So give me the Buffalo Bills 23-17. They're just a much better football team right now. Next game, we have the Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys favored by 7.5. Packers coming off a low-scoring win at home against the Chicago Bears, 17-9. Obviously, the offense of the Packers didn't do much in that game. The defense, really give them credit. They really held the Bears to 9 points, holding Justin Fields and containing him throughout that entire game. So the defense really did solid there. I mean, it's gonna be. I'm curious to see what their defense is gonna be like going up against this Cowboys offense. You look at this Cowboys team right now. They're averaging about 39 points at home. They have yet to lose a home game this season. So I'm curious to see what if the Packers can go in and get an upset, big time upset here at Dallas. So it's going to be an exciting matchup at the end of the day. The Dallas Cowboys, they're coming off a dominant road win at the Commanders 30-10. I'm not going to get much into this game, obviously. The Cowboys obviously punched the Commanders in the mouth throughout that entire game. The Cowboys needed that win to lock up the 2 seed, and they pretty much took care of business from start to finish against a Commanders team who is depleted. Obviously, Ron Rivera was fired right after that game, and the Commanders obviously were fighting for, like I said, they're fighting for a draft pick, and they obviously locked up the number 2 pick. But the Cowboys, like I said, they took care of business when it mattered. Now it's going to be a question is, can they do the same thing in the playoffs? And I know they haven't lost a home game yet this season, but the playoffs are a different breed. Can they continue this trend of winning at home? You're the number 2 seed now. There's no more excuses for the Dallas Cowboys. This is your best shot to get to the Super Bowl. You have 2 home playoff games, potentially, if you get it done when it matters, until you meet the 49ers. Can this be the year the Dallas Cowboys make the Super Bowl? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going with the Cowboys to win here. 27-21. I think the Packers will cover the spread. But I think the Cowboys being at home, obviously, you got to give them the edge here. Dak Prescott, I think he'll have a pretty solid day. Defense, obviously, will do their thing. Jordan Love, I think the Packers will keep it competitive. But like I said, they're a young team going up against a Cowboys team who's hungry. So give me the edge to the Dallas Cowboys here to get a big-time home win, 27-21 in Dallas. Next game, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the Detroit Lions. Lions favored by 3.5. Rams coming off a road win at the 49ers, 21-20. Obviously, the Rams did what they needed to do to win. Obviously, they had to win that game to put themselves at the 6th seed. If they would have lost that game to the 49ers, they would have been playing the Dallas Cowboys as the 7th seed. So the Rams did what they needed to do. And like I said, this is a dangerous team as well. I mean, I said this for weeks now, nobody's going to play this Rams team. This team has experience. They know what it takes to win the playoffs. And I'm excited to see what this team can do on the road against a good upcoming Detroit Lions team here. The Detroit Lions, they're coming off of a win against the Minnesota Vikings at home, 30-20. The Lions took care of business. Obviously, they just need to get that win to get some momentum going into the playoffs. Going up against a Vikings team who has a lot of questions themselves, especially at the quarterback position. Nick Mullins, the Vikings played competitive football pretty much the entire game until the last few minutes in the game, and the Lions were able to pull away with their talent and their upcoming team. Dan Campbell obviously is a tremendous coach. He gets his team prepared each and every week, and it's gonna be. I'm curious to see how this team comes out in a playoff situation. They're a young team. Lions fans have a lot to be excited about, and they deserve it because they've been going through a lot of pain for years now, and this is their opportunity and chance to, potentially, could they get to the Super Bowl maybe? We'll see. But overall in this game, this is my upset pick. Give me the Rams 30-28. Like I said, I think the Rams, like I said, they have the experience, and the Lions don't really have much experience. I mean, Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald in that defense, I think this is going to be a difference in this game. I think Aaron Donald will get some sacks on Jared Goff, make some big plays at the end of the game. But like I said, the experience factor is going to be what wins this game for the Rams. And like I said, they know what it takes to win at this time of year. Puka Nacua, their receiver, obviously is a young, exciting receiver. I think he'll make some plays as well. But it's going to come down to which quarterback do I trust the most, and I trust Matthew Stafford more than Jared Goff in this game. I think he'll take care of the football better than Jared Goff will, and that's going to be the difference. So give me the Rams here. Big time road win, 30-28 in Detroit. Last game of wildcard weekend, we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Eagles favored by 3 points. Eagles coming off of a disappointing loss at the Giants, 27-10. Like I said, with the Eagles, there was one point where they were 10-1. Everyone thought they were going to be the number one seed, potentially get back to the Super Bowl, and this team has nosedived, losing 5 out of their last 6 games. This team is just not playing well right now. I mean, I know they're dealing with a bunch of injuries, but that's no excuse. This time of year, everybody's dealing with some type of injuries. It's just a matter of who's more mentally tough at this time of year and who had the. It's all about war of attrition at this time of year. There's always injuries at this time of year, and I don't want to hear no excuses. Like I said, the Eagles at one point were the number one seed, and they just collapsed at the end of the year. They're not playing good football right now, and like I said, this is their opportunity to figure it out, or else they're going to be going home in the first round. It's just that simple to me. So we'll see what happens there. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're coming off a low-scoring affair against the Carolina Panthers, 9-0. Obviously, the Buccaneers offense didn't do anything in that game offensively. Defense played phenomenal, holding the Panthers to 0 points, obviously. A bad Panthers team that obviously has nothing to play for. And they just did a good job of just holding their ground on that side and just frustrating Bryce Young and that Panthers offense throughout that entire game there. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a big time win. Obviously, they won the game to clinch the NFC South, weakest division probably in football, and they have a home playoff game, and we'll see what happens in this game. Overall, in this game between these two teams, I'm going to ride with the hotter hand. I know Tampa won a low-scoring game last week, but I do not like the way the Eagles have been playing, especially in the last month of the season. So I'm going to give the edge to Tampa Bay, 21-19. Like I said, this game's in Tampa. I think the Eagles, they just haven't figured it out, and I just have no reason to pick them and stuff like that. So Tampa Bay, I think they'll get a road or a home win and advance to the divisional round, 21-19 in Tampa. Now I'll do it. Those are my NFL wildcard predictions. Comment your picks below. Like, share, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the games this weekend. And I'll see you guys in the divisional round. Peace.